I believe that 80% of the way we show up as leaders is based on our childhood environment and how we were raised. I want everyone to understand why you have been so successful in business and why it has been so important to you to confront racism and injustice towards women and the marginalized. Tell us about your first tough experience with injustice.
The first one for me was around my going to college. No one in my family had ever gone to college. My mom and dad were lucky to graduate high school, my older siblings as well. And so my dream was to go to college, and my dream was to go to the University of Southern California. And I applied for a scholarship, and I actually got a scholarship.
Yes.
I got a full scholarship that included dorm and book. I mean, the whole ride. And I was so excited when that letter came. I just can't tell you. I was over the moon. And when my dad got home from work, I couldn't wait to show him. And I showed him, and he turned around and said, this really should have gone to a boy. You really should give this back, because you're not going to use it. You're going to go there to meet a husband. You're going to go there and get pregnant. You really, really need to give it back.
That's terrible. That was terrible.
I was crushed, and I got angry and I cried. And then I said to him, I'm going.
Good for you.
And he said, we can't afford it. I said, I don't care. I'll figure it out. I'm going. And I did.
But, Georgia, this, like, from an early age, you actually fought for what you wanted. Like this fight in you over college happened very early. The more people told you to do something you didn't agree with, the more you did something else. So tell our listeners just what happened in second grade.
Oh, well, second grade, I was a tomboy, and I loved to play baseball, and I loved baseball. And when you had your little mini PE classes in elementary school, I would beat the boys all the time. So in the summer, they had leagues for the boys, but not for the girls. And they would not start. Even though I put together a girls team, they wouldn't let us play. So I went to the Parks and Recreation director of the city. And I complained and said there needed to be a girls' league. And he kind of patted me on the head and told me I needed to go away. And then he called my parents, which, of course, my dad was furious and my mother was, embarrassed that I was so obnoxious, right? To try to go get that.
Out of you. It's awesome. Now let's go to when you and I first met. It was when I became Tom Linebarger's coach, the CEO of Cummins currently. He was being considered at that time for the next CEO of Cummins, and then would be named. And you were already on the Cummins board at the time. And this was probably about 14 years ago. It's crazy how fast those years have gone. Last year, you agreed to work with me to go through this process that we do. Can you tell the listeners why you decided to do this?
Yes. Why did I raise my hand to be the guinea pig, right? Let me tell you something about Cummins. I've been, as you said, on a number of boards and interact with a lot of top leaders. And there is not a company I know that has the caliber and the quality and the depth of leadership that Cummins does. And there isn't another company that I know that invests the time and the effort and makes it a priority for leaders to learn how to lead and learn how to be authentic and learn how to deal with one another. And it makes a big difference. This is not a leadership situation where you have people arguing over petty issues. This is people that are engaged at the highest level with confidence and with capability. And, Pam, you're a big part of that journey. I mean, you've shepherded this for Cummins from the beginning. And so what happened was the board was having a discussion and someone said, we spend a lot of time, on these high performance teams and all of this work. And, is it really worth it? I mean, there's a lot of effort to this. And of course, Tom Linebarger said, absolutely. And my feeling has always been, it's a differentiator for Cummins, this strength of leadership makes the company so much more valuable. And so I said, hey, they said, well, maybe we ought to know more about it. And maybe Pam can come talk to us about it. And I kind of said, why don't I just do it?
Yeah.
I'll do it. And then I'll report back. I'll go through it. I mean, I'll go through it from the kind of top to bottom here, and then I can share with you what that's like. And and it's been a remarkable experience for me. I mean, my life obviously hasn't changed any. The stories are the same, but it helped me get some clarity around how it's impacted me and how it makes me behave in situations differently, and I don't realize it. It's kind of put an order to things that I didn't have before. And so I'm forever grateful, Pam, for that. And I can't wait for the session when I get to tell the Cummins board all about it.
Me too. I can't wait for that moment too. They'll love it. And thank you for the lovely compliments. That's very kind of you.